Okay, Manchester in the Copium, Barcelona against Santos, Nelma against Messi, Gansu against Xavi. A match at Emubeyedin Papa. World Club Championship, who rules the world? Club Ben as a US Munyanada, or Chesobeji Sedgman in so Barcelona, and now says Santos of Brazil, and no air match in between me. That will be the final match. A bit me a basum. If you want to for any entrance and Fufrum, na Yakodiani Fulham. Europa League, Fulham, or more to me, uncle of Format of Sumi and San, na FC20 and a top group no. Young Corny and Shara Quaya Fulham, Fasu Ephraim.
Was sitting in second place with FC20 6 points clear, having already qualified. However, Wisla Krakow were only a point adrift and snapping at Fulham's heels. As such, a win was needed to make sure Fulham's destiny remained in their own hands. The hosts threatened early, but news began to filter through of Wisla taking a surprise early lead against Twente. Fulham responded well, but Brady Hangeland's header was cleared off the line by Bashkim Kadri. Under sustained pressure, the defence of the Danish club finally gave in. Rumours have been circulating of a rift between Martin Jol and Bobby Zamora, but the manager would have been eternally grateful for the role the striker played in the opener. He teed up Clint Dempsey for his 7th goal of the season. Only 4 minutes later and Fulham had a second. Moussa Dembele made a strong run before putting Kerem Fry through for his first goal in a Fulham shirt. Leading 2-0 at the break, Fulham were in pole position to qualify, while Twente had equalised just before half-time, pushing Wisla out of the running for a place in the round of 32. Fulham were reminded of how precarious their position was, as Wisla scored again after the restart, while the Cottagers came under pressure from Odense. With first-choice goalkeeper Mark Schwarzer ruled out for up to 6 weeks with a neck injury, his understudy Neil Etheridge was called into action. The goal eventually arrived for the visitors, although in somewhat controversial circumstances. Odense were awarded a free kick, but unnoticed by the referee, Hans-Henrik Andreasen moved the ball out of position before curling it around the wall. The movement was minimal, but so was the margin that the free kick got passed in. Needing just to hang on till the final whistle to be assured of progressing, Fulham appeared to have done just that. But there was a final twist in the tale with just seconds remaining in the match.
Rude swings it in. The goalkeeper thought about coming, and Gilles Fall has knocked Fulham out of the Europa League. What an absolute sickener. Less than 10 seconds to play, and it's the final touch of the game. Well, it doesn't mean anything to Odense, but it's the end of the European dream for Fulham.
And our winning match, we are more elusive concentration. I'm more elusive. I mean, I hear Papa, but I'm going to qualify to the next stage of the competition. I just don't so I don't know. You're free Fulham now. You're free any and Lazio, which is Sporting Lisbon. A trauma come in. We are not back here and call and pick like.
Qualified for the last 32 of the Europa League. Chances were few and far between. Boak Marcello called into duty in the 24th minute, but a regulation gathering of the ball as he cleaned it up. In the 31st minute, some tidying up for the Lazio keeper as the deadlock stretched late into the half. And then finally something to get excited about just before the break as Lazio went in front through a fine header from Libor Kocak, his first goal of the season.
Libor Kocak uses his head and Lazio lead. How priceless could the goal be? The man picked to replace Miroslav Klose has finally delivered.
French-born Mabido Diakite produced an uncharacteristic charge down the field, shrugging off a tackle in the process to set the scene perfectly for Scully, who made no mistake in the 55th minute as the Serie A outfit tightened their grip on the match. A few minutes later, Anne Marcello was called into duty once again and successfully tipped the ball over the crossbar. The crowd at the Stadio Olimpico could smell victory in the air as news filtered through of happenings elsewhere in Group D, which ensured that Lazio would advance to the last 32. Sporting had a chance to pull one back late in the match, but the keeper was up to the task. So a 2-0 victory for Lazio as they clinched second spot in the group.
Okay, Europa League, interesting matches now. But guess what? Paris Saint-Germain, as they say, Sikawe PM now Monto players are hold on. And Rambo Modin at Athletic Bilbao and so still or more anti unqualified and no any other Hosama a PM Eddie Emo Paris Saint-Germain, as they say, not almost chef Papa say Antoine Kabori, or Betty Media Marco and you know, and Connie and Pick like.
Needed to win against top of Group F Athletic Bilbao if they harboured any hopes of progressing. They had the worst possible start. After 2.5 minutes, PSG were trailing in a first half that featured goals from set pieces. The French side, who reached the round of 16 last season, equalised in the 21st minute and then took the lead into the break through Bodmer.
Into the danger zone and into the net!
David Lopez, who has featured in only one previous Europa League match this season, scored 10 minutes into the second half, and the match remained level for 30 minutes before an own goal put PSG in the lead again. The celebrations were short-lived as Salzburg achieved the exact 3-2 scoreline in their match. And even though Athletic Bilbao's goalscorer David Lopez was carded for a foul in the area and PSG were given a second chance in front of goal in the form of a penalty after Nene missed just minutes before, the French side claimed a 4-2 win but still trailed Salzburg on goal difference and missed out on progression. PSG extended their unbeaten run.
Europa League PSG Omotimi awini, but still they couldn't qualify. No na Rosama but Sanso na ATM. If you wanna fiam for any interest Strat Bucharest so a bomb more than a qualify our common or share send almost more than one con kind see there is so much as ampa Omania Brian Corny and Pica lights in Tentem.
Winner Schalke in Israel, but what it boiled down to was that a draw would not be good enough for either team. With so much at stake, the atmosphere was electric at the stadium. Christian Tanashi unleashed a powerful strike in the 15th minute that almost gave the home side the lead. Steaua in particular were pushing hard for a goal, but the best chance for the remainder of the half came from the boot of Kevin Hofland, but still the deadlock remained. And then some drama in the 54th minute as Stefan Nikolic was pulled down, resulting in a penalty. There was jubilation in the stadium as Steaua shot into the lead, Raul Rusescu placing the kick to perfection. Larnaca would equalise in the 61st minute, Pintado's header doing the trick to return the match to level pegging. Less than 10 minutes later, and Steaua were back in front through Nikolic's header on the full from a corner. Nikolic made sure of the win with his second goal of the night coming late in the match, a deserved 3-1 win for the home side as they march into the knockout phase of the competition.
Okay, let's just say no so and no Strat Bucharest almost qualify air name Stoke City almost against Besiktas, but still almost qualify air kupiemu over the next stage of the competition. We say Ochana and a drawing in a 80 Abazianko the MPK highlights.
Better against Besiktas in their final Group E match on Wednesday would clinch top spots. With the Turkish outfit 2 points behind them and not yet guaranteed a place in the next round, they came out firing. Were it not for Stoke's shot stopper Asmir Begovic, the visitors could have found themselves trailing early. Begovic was single-handedly keeping his side in the match, but the forwards were also doing their bits. Caught on the counter, Besiktas needed a fine save from their keeper Rüştü Reçber to keep Stoke out. With both men pulling off a number of fine saves, it took something rather special to break the deadlock. On a rare foray into the opposition half, Stoke came away with an opener.
And that's an amazing goal from Ricardo Fuller, completely against the run of play. Stoke City have hardly had the ball in the Besiktas half, and yet Ricardo Fuller has scored a wonderful, wonderful goal.
A nasty deflection left Rüştü with no chance of saving Fuller's shot. Fuller was rapidly turning into Rüştü's tormentor, as the Jamaican almost got the better of the keeper just moments later, but the woodwork came to Rüştü's defence. Trailing at the break, Besiktas intensified their efforts after the restart. A clear run-in for Hugo Almeida was ended prematurely by Matthew Upson. The referee had little hesitation in pointing to the spot and brandishing a red card for the Stoke skipper. Manuel Fernandes stepped up to pull his side level. A man down, the cracks in Stoke's defence began to widen, but the next showdown between Fernandes and Begovic ended in favour of the keeper. Besiktas boss Tayfur Havutku introduced Mustafa Pektamek at half-time, and the substitute vindicated his manager's decision as he got free of his marker and headed his side into the lead. Stoke boss Tony Pulis was powerless to effect such changes. He'd left all 11 who started Sunday's 2-1 Premier League victory over Spurs at home and only travelled with 15 players. His opposite number rubbed further salt into the wounds as another inspired substitution saw Edu score. 3-1 was the final result.
Okay, Okay, Stoke City. Omo Eldin Kugo na nsoma qualify aircom manim eno ene. The to aso no Manchester United. The nyanim say about Premiership no ma. Yeah, anase month epra etabampa no month of December. Manchester United say epra no eya do so de wade wecha we epra ade cha we epra. Na no ya da kai against match omo ene Basel ko boy mo branch ba Vidic Pride. It just a idea how woman. Yanko near Manchester United. Omo injury will send a near my issue quality.
Granted a break from football to recover from a chronic bowel condition. And then today it's understood Tom Cleverley now won't be back until February with his ankle injury. Before these new setbacks, manager Sir Alex Ferguson doubted they'd be doing any business in January.
It's not I consider.
Ferguson's hands may now be forced though, as the champions have 9 first-team players unavailable. Nemanja Vidic is out for the season after rupturing his cruciate ligament, and defenders Rafael and Fabio are also out until the new year. United are short up front as well. Javier Hernandez and Michael Owen will both be out for 2 more weeks with their injuries, and Dimitar Berbatov is battling to be fit for Sunday's trip to QPR. The United fans want new signings.
If he thinks he needs them, he'll get them. I mean, my opinion is he does need another season midfielder.
I think, yeah, deep down, it would be nice to see someone bought in, someone decent, maybe Snyder, someone like that.
Those supporters, though, have just over 2 weeks to wait until Sir Alex Ferguson can buy anyone. His team have 4 Premier League matches before then, though. His headache has come at one of the most congested yet crucial periods of the season.
Okay, Manchester United, minimum so Man U fan, you are worried. Said 9 first-team players in United. I want to miss can and for Manchester United. But of course, yes, we will not be concerned. I said, if you say other Premiership clubs, no, fast now Liverpool, Chelsea, any Man City, Dombina, and Kepran and Tonko Sosa. And yet so many AC, they are said like I say, all the crew, cameramen, and I'll say Francis or Sabuto, and Manphobia Mana, or name me Ebitrum, Sanso, and a master, or Sazun to Lucian, and I'll say a branch, young Conqua King, the king of Abubuya, Gilberto, so a boy, Juma Papa, and an Ajo Amunina, and Miss Sound for no. Logos are my name's Logos. But you come so watch now. You best Asian pana, Yedi Jumadina San Abremo, na Nanaya Eba, and a quantum cro on one crum, na for the Pennsylvania at home. So we are per fisem, the account on the Yan say, Ubeton Fidius as Ubeton, I say, oh, fee, no multi TV. No man liberals, gestures, Nancy, abbreviate me. No more infis and there, your Europa match back, I the Bremo live. On multi TV, but when the answer on to which me attribute. Aha, and it is your channel. Bye.